When you think about foods that are good for your health, what's the first thing that comes to mind? For many people, it's eggs. They're famous for being packed with protein and nutrients. But have you ever considered that the way you eat eggs could actually be hurting you instead of helping? I'm Dr. Greene, and I've been practicing internal medicine for over 60 years. I'm 92 years old this year, and every Tuesday, I still see patients at a retirement community in upstate New York. People often wonder how I've kept working for so long. Would you like to know one of my secrets? It's eggs. But I don't eat them just any way, I eat them in a specific way. Today, I want to share an important story about eggs and what I've learned from caring for thousands of older patients over the decades. Chances are, you have eggs on your table most days, right? But could it be that the way you're preparing or eating them is, despite your best intentions, doing more harm than good? I hope this story helps you find the answer. Please watch until the very end so you don't miss anything important. And while you're here, please click the subscribe and like buttons so you can keep getting reliable health information. Every year, hundreds of older patients come through my doors. Many of them eat eggs daily, but despite this, their health continues to get worse. Let me give you a clear example. Mr. John Miller, an 83-year-old from Chicago, landed in the hospital with salmonella poisoning after eating soft-boiled eggs every morning. At first, we thought it was just a typical infection. But after more careful questioning, we found out Mr. Miller had been eating soft-boiled eggs every day for over 40 years. More recently, he'd even started eating eggs past their expiration date. His aging immune system made this habit, once harmless, into a serious danger. As we get older, our bodies change. The eating habits that were fine when we were younger can become risky. Eggs, in particular, are more complicated than many people realize. They contain proteins, fats, minerals, and more, and how these components affect your body shifts with age. Over my 6 decades as a doctor, I've discovered that eggs can either nourish you or harm you, depending on how you eat them. This difference becomes even more important as we age. Do you eat eggs every day, but feel like your health is getting worse instead of better? If so, what I share today could be just what you need. Let me tell you about another patient, Mrs. Mary Davis, 86, from Kansas. She'd been on cholesterol medications for over 20 years and ate fried eggs every morning to get enough protein. But despite her efforts, her cholesterol numbers never improved. When she came to see me, she was already taking 3 heart medications and 2 cholesterol drugs. She was tired of depending on so many pills and wanted a better way. When I asked about her meals, she told me she ate fried eggs early every morning for her health, and then just egg whites at lunch, taking her medications at the same time. I taught her a new way of eating eggs, which I'll explain in detail shortly. Over 3 months, she followed my advice carefully. As a result, she was able to stop her cholesterol medication after her cholesterol levels dropped by nearly 30% in her latest checkup. 6 months later, she told me she felt far less tired and had regained her energy, just by changing how she prepared and ate her eggs. Isn't that amazing? I know changing your eating habits isn't easy, especially after a lifetime of routine. But I've seen over and over how even small adjustments can make a big difference. What I'm about to share with you may be more effective than changing medications or going through major procedures. This information is practical and important. It could shape your health for the rest of your life. To get the full benefit, make sure you watch this video all the way through. And if you find it helpful, please don't forget to click the subscribe and like buttons so more people can learn about these life-changing tips. Your simple click could help someone else live a longer, healthier life. But please remember, if you misunderstand or incorrectly apply what I'm about to share, it could end up harming you. So make sure you understand it fully before you make any changes to your habits. If you've been eating eggs for your health until now, it's time to start eating them the right way. Here are 5 ways of eating eggs you should definitely avoid. First, eating only egg whites on an empty stomach. Many people throw out the yolks to avoid cholesterol, thinking it's healthier. But this is a big mistake. Egg whites contain a substance called avidin, which blocks the absorption of vitamin B7, or biotin. When your body doesn't get enough biotin, it can lead to nerve damage, fatigue, and even depression. This vitamin is especially important for older adults, as it supports your nervous system, keeps your skin healthy, and helps you maintain cognitive function. A biotin deficiency can start with mild fatigue but can gradually lead to numbness in your hands or feet, muscle weakness, memory problems, and depression. Mrs. Eleanor Clark, 80, from Maine, developed severe numbness in her hands and feet because of this habit, and eventually struggled to walk. This problem is even worse if you eat egg whites on an empty stomach because the high stomach acid increases avidin's effects. It's also crucial to remember that egg yolks contain lecithin, omega-3 fatty acids, lutein, zeaxanthin, and other nutrients that are vital for seniors. Lecithin supports brain function, while lutein and zeaxanthin protect your eyes from age-related macular degeneration. You lose all these benefits if you throw away the yolk. Here's an easy solution. Always eat the yolk and the white together, and do so during or after a meal, not on an empty stomach. Egg yolks have plenty of biotin, which neutralizes the avidin in the whites. Eating a small salad or whole grain bread before your eggs can also help slow digestion and improve nutrient absorption. If you're worried about cholesterol, aim for about 5 to 7 eggs a week. Roughly 1 egg a day is safe for most seniors. If you're taking cholesterol medication, be sure to check with your doctor. And if you can, try having your eggs in the afternoon. People with dementia or Parkinson's should be especially careful, since a lack of biotin can quickly worsen their symptoms. Those taking certain antibiotics or exposed to environmental toxins should also be cautious, as they're more vulnerable to biotin deficiency. Think about how you've been eating your eggs. Have you been skipping the yolk to try to stay healthy? Second, eating raw eggs. Some older adults have a habit of drinking raw eggs, sometimes even with alcohol, or eating them soft-boiled. This is very risky because it raises the chance of a salmonella infection. As we age, our immune systems weaken, making us more susceptible to infections that can cause serious harm. Salmonella doesn't just cause an upset stomach, it can lead to severe dehydration, high fever, and even sepsis, which is a potentially deadly condition requiring hospital care. The CDC reports that deaths from salmonella infections are highest among people over 65. Another issue is that raw egg whites keep avidin fully active because they're not heat-treated, which makes biotin deficiency even worse. Plus, raw egg proteins can bind with good bacteria in your intestines, disrupting your gut health. Maintaining a healthy gut is key for your immune system and mental well-being, and recent research links gut health to Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and depression. Mr. Mark Johnson, 82, ended up in the intensive care unit with severe sepsis after years of drinking raw eggs mixed with vodka. Although he recovered, he needed a long course of antibiotics, which disrupted his gut bacteria and led to chronic diarrhea and malnutrition. To stay safe, always cook your eggs thoroughly at temperatures of at least 165 degrees Fahrenheit, or 74 degrees Celsius. The yolk should be completely solid. For boiled eggs, cook them for at least 9 to 12 minutes until the center is hard. When you buy eggs, check that they're fresh. Avoid eggs with cracks or stains on the shell. Refrigerate them as soon as you get home and try to eat them within 2 weeks. Always wash your hands after touching raw eggs or their shells. Be extra cautious with eggs that are close to their expiration date or sold at steep discounts. Saving a little money is never worth risking your health. Do you like soft-boiled or raw eggs? Why not consider a change starting today? Third, eating eggs with certain medications. Many seniors take multiple prescriptions, but some drugs can interact dangerously with eggs. Blood thinners like warfarin, antibiotics, and iron supplements are key examples. Blood thinners work by preventing clots, but their effectiveness can swing wildly based on your vitamin K intake, and egg yolks are rich in vitamin K. Suddenly changing how many eggs you eat can either weaken or strengthen these medications, increasing your risk of bleeding or clotting. Antibiotics like tetracycline or quinolones can bind with the calcium, magnesium, or iron in eggs, reducing their absorption and making the medications less effective. Iron supplements taken with eggs can also lead to poor absorption, since proteins in egg whites bind to iron, preventing it from being absorbed in your gut, something especially important for older adults with anemia. Mr. Harold Wilson, 85, was rushed to the hospital with a brain bleed because the vitamin K in his eggs reduced the effectiveness of his blood thinner. Meanwhile, Mrs. Dorothy Adams, 76, couldn't get her anemia under control because she kept taking her iron pills with her eggs. To stay safe, wait at least 2 hours between eating eggs and taking your medication. If you're on especially important medicines, it's better to leave a 4-hour gap. Always talk to your doctor or pharmacist about how eggs could interact with your prescriptions. For instance, thyroid medications like levothyroxine should be taken on an empty stomach. If you eat eggs in the morning, have them at least an hour later. Medications for high blood pressure or cholesterol-lowering statins should also be spaced out by at least 2 hours from egg consumption. And don't forget, eggs can interfere with the absorption of calcium and zinc, which are essential for bone strength and immunity. If you take these supplements, don't have them with your eggs, eat them at another time. What do you normally eat when you take your medicine? Could eggs be part of your routine without you realizing the risks? Fourth, eating eggs between 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock in the morning. Many people like to have fried or steamed eggs early, thinking it's a healthy start to the day. But this is actually the time when your body naturally produces the highest levels of cortisol, a hormone that can raise your cholesterol. When you eat eggs during this window, the combination can cause your cholesterol to spike even more. Cortisol is known as a stress hormone, but it's also essential for regulating your daily rhythms. It rises in the morning to help wake you up and falls as the day goes on. The issue is that cortisol also tells your liver to make more cholesterol. So when you eat eggs early in the morning, especially during the peak cortisol period of 6 to 8 a.m., your liver produces even more cholesterol than normal. This is a bigger problem in older adults, whose bodies often struggle to manage cholesterol levels effectively. Mr. Ronald Evans, 78, had a heart attack after years of eating fried eggs every morning at 6 a.m. His cholesterol levels were found to be twice the healthy range, despite his good intentions. Another reason to avoid eggs early in the morning is that your digestive system isn't fully awake yet. Your stomach and intestines have been resting all night, and it takes time for them to ramp up. Eating protein-rich foods like eggs right away can overwhelm your digestive system, leading to indigestion, bloating, or heartburn. Instead, try having your eggs between 2 o'clock and 4 p.m. This is when your body's cholesterol production is lowest, your digestive system is fully active, and your liver can process cholesterol more efficiently. At this time of day, your body can absorb nutrients better, and you're less likely to experience digestive discomfort. It's also important to eat eggs with vegetables. Fiber in vegetables helps lower cholesterol absorption, while antioxidants in veggies protect your blood vessels. Broccoli, spinach, and onions are especially good choices to pair with eggs. Fiber not only helps clear cholesterol from your intestines but also supports better overall health. On the other hand, avoid eating eggs right before bed. Digesting protein takes energy, which can interfere with your sleep. Plus, nighttime is when your body should focus on rest and repair, not heavy digestion. If you do need protein in the morning, try easier to digest options like tofu or Greek yogurt. These are rich in protein but gentler on your stomach. Think about what time you usually eat eggs. Do you have a habit of eating them first thing in the morning? Why not try changing to the afternoon? Fifth, cooking eggs in high-temperature oil. Many people love fried eggs, but cooking eggs in hot oil can damage the proteins, making them harder to digest and irritating your stomach lining. Egg proteins are delicate. Temperatures above 212 degrees Fahrenheit can alter their structure so much that digestive enzymes struggle to break them down. This creates a heavier burden on your digestion, which can be especially problematic for seniors with weaker stomach function. Another serious issue is that when oil is heated past its smoke point, it produces harmful compounds like aldehydes and acrolein. These substances not only irritate your digestive system but can also trigger inflammation and increase oxidative stress in your body. Over time, these effects can raise your risk of chronic diseases. High heat cooking also destroys important nutrients like choline, which is found in egg yolks. Choline is essential for maintaining brain health, supporting memory, and slowing cognitive decline. Losing this nutrient through high-temperature frying is a big missed opportunity for older adults. Mrs. Jane Thompson, 84, suffered from chronic gastritis after eating fried eggs every day. She lost her appetite and lost weight, but her digestive symptoms improved significantly when she changed how she cooked her eggs. At first, she thought it was just indigestion, but it turned out to be the fried eggs causing the problem. Mr. George Lewis, 82, had a similar issue. He had always loved fried eggs, but they began to give him intense heartburn as he got older. After he switched to boiling his eggs instead, his digestion improved dramatically and he was able to eat protein without discomfort. A safer method is to put eggs in cold water, bring them to a gentle boil, and cook over low heat for about 10 minutes. This helps preserve the nutrients and makes the eggs easier to digest. Once the water reaches a boil, keep the heat low. Boiling aggressively over high heat can cause the egg proteins to become rubbery and tough. Other good cooking options include steaming or poaching eggs. Steamed eggs cook slowly and evenly, and poaching involves cooking eggs gently in simmering water. Both methods avoid oil and limit heat damage to the proteins. It's especially important to avoid microwaving eggs. Microwaves heat food unevenly, which can cause some parts of the egg to overheat while others remain undercooked. This can make eggs difficult to digest and even lead to sudden bursts or explosions. Adding herbs or spices like turmeric, black pepper, or parsley when cooking eggs is also beneficial. These ingredients support digestion and have anti-inflammatory properties that are helpful for seniors. Curcumin, the active ingredient in turmeric, is especially good for brain health by reducing inflammation. If you've been making fried eggs up to now, why not try boiling them instead, starting tomorrow? So far, I've shared with you 5 ways of eating eggs that can harm your health as you get older. Eggs are an excellent food when prepared properly, but if you eat them the wrong way, they can actually work against your well-being. Let's quickly go over the 5 points one more time. First, don't eat only egg whites on an empty stomach. Always eat the yolk and white together with a meal. Second, don't eat raw eggs. Make sure they're fully cooked. Third, don't take eggs together with certain medications. Leave at least a 2-hour gap. Fourth, avoid eating eggs early in the morning. 2 to 4 p.m. is the ideal time. Fifth, don't fry eggs in hot oil. Boiling them is the healthiest choice. When you follow these guidelines, eggs become a powerful food that can give you protein along with important nutrients like vitamin D, B vitamins, selenium, and choline. Protein is especially vital as you age. It helps maintain your muscles, supports your immune system, and speeds up healing from injuries. Eggs are one of the best sources of this important nutrient. I believe one reason I'm still able to see patients at 92 is because I've stuck to these small, consistent habits. Changing how you eat isn't easy overnight, but even adding one of these tips into your daily routine can build up over time to make a big difference. By practicing these 5 simple principles, eggs can become a true health booster for you. Why not start by boiling some eggs tomorrow and enjoying them with fresh vegetables for lunch? In my next video, I'll share 5 essential foods you should include in your diet as you get older, along with practical health tips backed by decades of medical experience. Thank you for staying with me until the end. Don't forget to click subscribe and like so you can keep getting useful health information. Make smart choices each day, and let's work together toward a long, healthy life. I'm cheering for your health and happiness.